And welcome into the CFB season show. I'm your host, Chris. You can find me on Twitter at CFB Talk 07. Got my co-host, Austin. How you doing, Austin?
What's up, man?
Everything going good your way?
Yeah, not too bad. Just trying to get through the week.
I know that's right. And we got our dude, Jake, at CFB Red Zone. Right, Jake?
Yeah, yes, sir. Welcome to be back on the show and enjoying you guys as we get a little bit closer to the start of college football season, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. You've been coming out. This is what your third time coming on. I always enjoy it. So I'll tell you what. I got to give you credit. You're reliable. There's another guy, Updog. He was busy, so he had a busy schedule. But I asked other people because I was trying to get some different people on, and I was like, but you know what? I can always go to my guy Jake because he's reliable and he's good. So.
Be pretty fun.
I just try to be someone that maintains my word. Especially as we get a little bit closer, as like preview season is already starting to get in the full swing. So we'll see how much of a voice I have left because we had a pretty extensive deep dive that we recorded earlier, and like the voice is a little straight. I'm not gonna lie to you.
What was you gonna say, Austin?
I was going to say it was the three of us that drafted the playoff teams too, right?
Yeah, it was.
We'll have to have a little follow-up show at the
the
end of the year.
We got to, especially on the team show, because we got to brag and talk shit to the one who gets last or whatever. All right. So before we get to our news and notes, I want to take a second and I want to give a huge shout out to my girl Savannah Stone, my co-host Austin Stone's daughter, who just finished first place at the National FCCLA competition.
National champion, baby.
National champion. FCCLA is Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America. She is really smart kid. She did not get that from her daddy. I'm telling you that right now.
Not at all.
But she is a really smart kid. Kudos to her. I've watched her grow up. She is an amazing, smart girl. So yeah, from everybody here at CFB Season, I want to give a hand clap to Savannah. Awesome job by her. Kudos to you, Austin, and Caitlin, her stepmom, and her mom, Kimberly, for raising such a great kid.
Yeah, we're super proud of her, man. That was an awesome treat to get yesterday.
Yeah, there's nothing like watching your kid. My daughter hit her first basketball goal last year in a game, and that was on that. Well, no, it was. Let me rephrase that. That was better than watching like my favorite team win a national championship. Like it was the greatest moment of my life.
I can't help but I keep thinking, like, my daughter's 13 years old, and she has a third of the national championships that UGA has.
Here we go. You see, Jake,
right now.
You see,
now.
See, listen, he didn't even know I was going to do this today, and I was so excited and ready, and he does this every time. I love Savannah, so I'm just going to move on. Let's go to. All right, EA 26 just came out, and there's two gamers on the show. Me and Jake. Austin, he played games back in the day. I know because I lived with him, so we used to play all the time. But with 10 kids, it's kind of hard. So me and Jake were a little available to play the game more. Jake, let's go to you first. You've had it since Monday, like I have. What have you liked about it? What's some things you didn't like? All those kind of things.
Man, I'll tell you what, one thing that I really do like out the gate is just how much smarter the AI is, right? So I'm usually the type of guy where like I like to mix things up in terms of whether I run no huddle in certain situations or slow it down. And there will be specific moments in the games that I played so far where like the defense will call a timeout in the middle of the drive if they don't love the fact that I'm continuing to run that no huddle. So I love that the AI is smarter, even though the AI has also broken my heart at the same time because I'm sure as someone that plays on a Heisman, it does make me feel like somebody. Like imagine like the SpongeBob meme where like SpongeBob is hiding behind the like the big like arch, like trying to run
Mhm.
away in Jellyfish Fields. It's got me feeling like that sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, the one thing I love is the presentation. The
Yes.
presentation, it's so like I told you pre-show, I started out at Virginia Tech, and when it did the Inner Sandman, I got chills. I also watched. I think I played one time as Alabama, uh, and they did the light show. Like the whole presentation of it really is neat. It makes you really feel like you're at the stadiums. It seems a lot louder in the stadiums. It seems like you're really in a college atmosphere. I thought that was really cool. I also liked a lot of people. I've seen some people complain about this. I don't know how you feel, Jake. It feels it's a tick slower than last year, and I'm kind of okay with it. I've seen some complaints that they some people are saying it's a little slower, not as fast as last year's. I don't know what your observations on that.
So it's really interesting, and again, I haven't played too many games yet. As someone that is like a newer father, so there's not as much time to go around with the gaming per se. But I honestly haven't really noticed that difference between CFP 25 and CFP 26, at least from a game speed perspective. Granted, again, like I'm playing as a G5 primarily, so it wouldn't matter if it was in 25 or 26 that first year. Like playing against particularly going up against an SEC school. My quarterback is still running for my life, and I'm running around like a chicken with his head cut off. But I really haven't noticed that. But I haven't played a ton of
Yeah.
games yet.
Yeah, I'm on today's the first day I haven't played it. And I told myself like when I got it, I was like probably not gonna play it as much as I did last year. And I think every night except tonight I have played 4 to 5 hours a night.
There we
So
go.
I'm thinking this weekend's not gonna be good for my sleep. I'm probably gonna be up all night. So anyway, all right. Transition into that, they also ranked the toughest places to play. And Austin, even though I don't play the game, he can join in on this one. I had some disagreements on here. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a Georgia fan, but look, Sanford Stadium is loud when the right game's happening. It can get very loud. The Tennessee game a couple of years back when Tennessee was number one, that's the loudest that stadium's ever been. Um, there's been a LSU game way back in the day that was really loud. They have moments, but I was kind of shocked they were in the top five. I ain't gonna lie. Anybody on that list, Austin, that kind of surprised you?
Um, why is the big house so low?
I don't know. I
That's
That's surprising to you?
Yeah, that's a little surprising to me. I would have expected, particularly from a video game standpoint, uh,
Yeah.
to be higher. Um, but yeah, I'm with you on Sanford Stadium. It does get loud, but I'll be honest. I think the way they designed it, where it's wide open on that one end of the field, I think allows some of the noise to escape.
Yeah, yeah. And for a while there, I haven't been to a game in like 2 years, but for a while there, it was we used to call it the country club fans. You would get yelled at a lot in that stadium if you were standing up by a lot of the old heads. But I will say it has gotten better. The Notre Dame game was loud. When there's a big game, it's loud, but it's not like Tiger Stadium where like you could be playing nickels and it's going to be loud no matter what. Jake, is there anything on that list that surprised you or that you love or?
Yeah, so I mean, first and foremost, I definitely agree with like the resentment of Georgia. I don't think we've really have seen the full potential of Sanford Stadium in recent memory because Georgia has been that's had the misfortune of not really having as many of those big time games at home. Although there's going to be a really good one coming up this year, at the very least, with Alabama and Georgia. That will be that's going to be cinema from a presentation standpoint. I'll tell you what. One thing that surprised me is why is Davis Wade Stadium for Mississippi State in the top 25? I mean, we're talking about a stadium. Let's be real. Even back when, like the
The
Dak Prescott days,
come on,
this
man, the
was
cowbells.
yeah, yeah, but like other than that, it's a unique, like nice little niche thing. But Mississippi State, like over the course of like the last like 5 to 10 years, Mississippi State is like in the 90s, I think, in home winning percentage. So yes, I know they play in a really tough conference in the SEC, but at the same time, is it when you're losing like 40, 45% of your home games? Is it really that tough of a place to play? I think we could find on other stadiums. Aside from Davis Wade to accompany that top 25, to be honest with you.
This is why I love having Jake on. This is now the second show that he gives me. He makes somebody who has to edit this stuff and put out clips on TikTok and social media. And this is now the second time we've gotten some good shit from Jake. I appreciate you, Jake, so much.
I don't know, man.
Not that I disagree. I agree. I agree with you.
I agree with what you're saying, but also if all 12 of their fans are ringing those damn cowbells at the same time, it's loud.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the cowbells can only be such a force multiplier when you got 12 fans in the stands. That's you can only do so much, and it's let's be honest, it's usually pretty quiet when it gets to certain points in the game after especially the last couple of years.
You know who else kind of shocked me? Actually, just looking at it, because I actually heard some other people talk about this. Actually, 3, 4, and 5. Bama, Georgia, and Ohio State. I've actually read online that a lot of people are upset with the Ohio State ranking because Ohio State's kind of similar to Georgia. They don't get loud, but for certain games, it's not the most intimidating. It's intimidating if you're Penn State or if you're Oregon or something like that. But I've seen a lot of people complain about Ohio State, but Alabama too. Austin, you've been to a couple of games at Alabama, and you've mentioned to me that it's not the loudest.
No, I mean, I think Alabama fans have just gotten spoiled, so I think it's gotten worse over the last couple of years. But maybe it'll start to tick back up as winning is not the norm anymore. Maybe, but no, I agree with you. Looks like EA Sports kind of saw the debate between the Death Valleys, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Big gap there.
yeah. I guess call me an SEC homer. There ain't nobody beating Tiger Stadium.
Yeah,
No.
I do want to say something about Ohio Stadium because
Yeah,
I
you're
am
an
someone
Ohio
that
State fan.
yeah. So I've been to
Yeah.
Ohio Stadium like a few times. Someone that did grow up as Ohio State fan.
Yeah.
This is probably going to be a little bit warmer of a take, so you're probably going to want to put down that Mountain Dew here there for for a split second. I think Ohio Stadium is an overrated venue.
Yes.
I'm gonna be honest. I've been there a few times, and for me, like being inside the stadium, I know that it's a cathedral of college football, so there's only so much that you can change because it is an older stadium. But the game day experience from where I've sat could have certainly been improved, and also at certain times, depending on who they're playing, it's actually not too terribly wild. Now they'll get up and get ready to go, like when it comes to a massive game, like when Tennessee came for the college football playoff. But Ohio Stadium, I know it's a cathedral college football, but I think it's an overrated experience in my opinion. I'm going to be honest there.
Yeah. Hey, that's great. That'll be another clip. But honestly, you're not the first one I've actually heard say that. I was listening to a podcast earlier that talked about he had talked to many Ohio State fans, and they kind of all they probably wasn't that blunt about it, but they have definitely shared the same sentiments. One last note on this before I move on. I know I'm supposed to be unbiased and all that stuff, but I got to take a shot at Doak Campbell Stadium. I don't know why that's on here. They don't show up unless they're winning anyway. So there's never anybody there. That fan base doesn't care unless they're winning. So I don't even know why they're in the top 25. So anyway, let's move on.
Yeah.
What
I feel like
we could not letting the Miami Hurricanes have a stadium in the top 25. What are we doing there?
Yeah.
know?
I feel like we could do the whole show on that slide right there if you want to.
Yeah,
Let's
we
just change it
could.
up.
We really could. That's why I put it in news and notes because I didn't think the Heisman draft was going to last, a long time. But all right, another news and notes. I don't know, Jake, how well you pay attention to recruiting. I'm personally a recruiting nut. Austin, I know he semi pays attention to it enough to know enough. But LSU, man, they've been on a tear here lately. They've got 3 recruits right now, ranked number 1 at their respective positions with Tristan Keys, Lamar Brown, who committed today, Richard Anderson. They got a top 5 class, and on top of that, they have 3 5-stars commits along the D line, which is pretty amazing. Brian Kelly, man, he's on a tear right now, recruiting at LSU. Any thoughts there, Austin, on what LSU has been able to do so far in the recruiting class?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he's starting to find some ground in recruiting, right? But I think I would say it's a good thing this is happening for him right now. With the team he has, all the talent returning this year, I think everybody has their eyes on LSU. But as much talent as he has returning this year, he's going to have that much leaving the next year.
Yeah.
So, he's going to have. I think they're going to have a good season this year. It's going to buy him some time, and now it looks like maybe he can back it up with a recruiting class to kind of keep it going.
Yeah. Jake, we know somebody who doesn't think they're going to have a good season. Actually, that's not right below me. It's below Austin, but even lower. But anyway, Jake, what you feeling on the recent surge on LSU's recruiting?
Yeah, which by the way, I don't know if you saw the Twitter post when I post my final record predictions, but we are 10 toes down and standing on that. But back
Yes,
to the
you
topic
are.
at hand. Listen, LSU is positioned extremely well to put together an extremely impressive recruiting class. You already talked about it. This recruiting class already being in the top 5, but there's only 16 high school recruits in this recruiting class, and they're second in terms of highest average rating in terms of like what kind of player they're bringing in. I think only Oregon is doing a little bit better, but they also have a similar number of guys, like 14 guys in their class. So I would imagine LSU is going to continue to fill this class out, and it could really be a monster class on top of what they already did last year in terms of talent acquisition. I've never doubted the talent acquisition piece for Brian Kelly. It's actually figuring not out how to not mess up games that he's supposed to win. That's really been my thing with Brian Kelly. We'll see if he gets past that here in 2025. But I mean, the recruiting has been amazing, and I'm certainly going to give him credit for that when credit's due.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, fellas, it's time. Let's get this draft started. I didn't do a good job of preparing anybody for this. We're gonna do 5 players each, Jake. I got so busy this week, so I didn't get to talk to you much. 5 players each. I'm gonna be selfish and get the first pick because I have not gotten the first pick yet since we started all these draft stuff that we've been doing. Jake, since you were first last time, you'll have the third pick, and Austin, you will get the second because I don't know. If y'all want to appeal it to the rules committee, I am the rules committee. You can send it to me. I'll reject it, and then we'll get started. So, anyway, all right. So I'll go with the first pick. I'm not gonna lie. And we'll do Snake again if I'm not stupid enough to mess that up. Um, so I'm gonna shock. I'm gonna shock some people. A couple of months back, we did a show, Bold Takes. I've been thinking about this all day because I have the first pick. So I think the obvious one everybody can think about is one of these major quarterbacks. A couple of months back, I made a bold take that I think this year a non-quarterback was going to win the Heisman again for the second year in a row. So when you do these bold takes show, I feel like you got to make bold takes that you kind of semi-believe. I want to take Arch Manning, but I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to back out on my bold take. So screw it. I'm gonna go with Jeremiah Love. First
Jeremiah
pick,
Love?
Jeremiah Love.
Ooh.
Jeremiah
Wow.
Love. And I know, I get it. I'm gonna be called stupid, but like my thing is, like I made a bold take, and I don't want to go back on it. I made this bold take, and I'm gonna stick to my word that what I said earlier in this year. And I'm gonna go Jeremiah Love. I think he's explosive, fast. He's also physical as hell. He's not afraid to run in between the tackles. The thing that I like the first 4 weeks of the season is Notre Dame, Miami. I mean, sorry, not Notre Dame. Miami, by Texas A&M, and then Arkansas. And I know Arkansas is a bad team, but Arkansas is an SEC team, and we know how even the bottom of the SEC gets propped up. And I feel like if he can have some killer games in that first 3 weeks, and then you add USC in the middle of the schedule, and then in between that, you got a lot of easy games. If he can ball out against Miami and Texas A&M and kind of get that momentum at the beginning, like Travis Hunter did, because Travis Hunter, he got that momentum at the beginning. He didn't really lose it. Like, he just kept it all year, and he was kind of the runaway favorite most of the year. So, yeah, I don't think he's actually going to win it, but I want to keep up with my bold take, and it wouldn't shock me, though. What y'all think? Let's go, Austin.
Dude, you and Season have been hollering for Jeremiah Love and I was looking up some stuff and I was looking at Vegas odds, right?
Yeah.
And did you see where Vegas had him?
I did, because I looked at it too.
Dude, he's way down there. Like, I'm not saying I think he's gonna win it, but
That'd be a good bet.
I think he deserves more respect than that.
It'd be a great bet.
On the plus side, though, like you could turn if you go and bet on FanDuel right now, because that, to be honest, that's what I'm looking at too. Listen, you could turn a McDonald's meal into like a fancy steak dinner. If he ends up taking home Heisman, that's a great date.
He's ranked lower
right there.
He's under Gunner.
Yeah.
Well, Gunner is actually listed with the same Heisman odds. They both have like plus 5,000.
Well, I just was looking at the list. I didn't.
It's crazy. It's kind of crazy. I don't get it. You want me to say another bad? This show is going to be all about clipping. You want me to say another hot take that I don't think's a hot take?
What's that?
I think he's better than Ncaa.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. I do. I love Ncaa. Let me make that clear. I think he's better than Ncaa. So, all right, here we go. All right, Austin, you got the second pick.
All right. I want to start my picks off by saying, Chris will tell you, I am not where I know him and Season love to follow the Heisman and things like that. I am not a huge Heisman fan. And I'll tell you why. Because the Heisman never goes to the best player in the country. The Heisman goes to the best player on the best team, with the exception of last season. Travis Hunter was the best player in the country. If he did not play for Deion Sanders, I don't know that we would even know who Travis Hunter is. But we'll move on. So I'm going to go opposite of you. I'm going quarterback. I'm not going Arch. I'm actually going to go Klubnik.
I like that.
Yeah, again, best player on the best team, right? I think he's got. I mean, Clemson has 80% of their starters returning from last season. I just think this year is set for them to have a big year. They've got some big games that he can show out in. I think if he can come out, I mean, that we've talked about it, I feel like every show, but that first game, Clemson LSU, man, that's just going to be a stage. And I think if he comes out and shows out that game and carries that through the season.
And if he balls out in that game with the schedule they have, he could do similar to what I was saying with Jeremiah Love. He could just run away with it. I love that pick. He was going to be – I knew one of y'all were probably going to grab him before I got another chance, but he was in my top six. All right, Jake. Well, this is what I think of Austin from.
Yeah, I love the Cade Klubnik pick as well, because not only is he going to have that battle against LSU to begin the season, you think back towards the very end of the year, they're going to have a battle against South Carolina as well. I mean, Cade Klubnik versus Lenoris Sellers in possibly like a high-stakes game to end the year. I mean, that could be absolutely cinema as well. I love that pick because I think there's some multiple Heisman moments, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it in the SEC for right now, because I do have the pleasure of making 2 consecutive picks courtesy of the snake draft format. And first off, I'm going to go with a son of a legend, We're gonna go with the man, the myth, the legend. We're going with Arch Manning with the third overall pick in the Heisman draft. And here's why I'm going. I know he is probably not the most proven. He's going to have to prove it against major competition because I know he's made starts against, like UTSA and UN Monroe. And, those two teams are on a different level compared to, your Ohio States. But you got to think about it. Arch Manning, he already has the name. He's the son of a Manning. He's already a part of football royalty. So right off the gate, he already has that name recognition. But listen to this guy talk. He doesn't just have the talent. Like this is a kid that's wired the right way. Built with a bunch of humility and all that good stuff. He'll have a Heisman moment right away going into Ohio State. Top 5 matchup most likely to start the season once the AP actually messes around and gets that pull out. So I think Arch Manning's going to have some ample opportunities. He's got a great name as well. And I'm going to go with him for my third pick. And while I'm thinking about that Ohio State and Texas matchup, let me grab another Heisman candidate from that same place. We're going with the best offensive player in the entire country. Give me Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State. Listen, he came in as a true freshman. He proved right away that he is that guy. Going from attending prom like less than a year ago to the number one wide receiver in college football. You want to talk about somebody that already has some serious popularity already, even though he's only been in the college scene for about a year. Jeremiah Smith is also that guy, and the dude can play and help clinch a national title for the Ohio State. So give me Arch Manning and also give me Jeremiah Smith as well. Let's go.
Yeah, so far you're killing it. Because I wish I wouldn't have made that stupid bold take. I really do. But I see this is what it's like to have Austin as your best friend because he
I keep
he will use
receipts.
that against me. If I did not pick Jeremiah Love, he would have used that against me if I would have went quarterback, and I've got to worry about that in my head. So, all right, Austin, you got another pick.
No, no, yeah, I'm gonna comment on his. I mean, I think those are great picks. I,
Oh
I
yeah,
think Arch Manning obviously is the favorite to win it right now. I think
yep,
the reason I didn't go Arch first, even though I could have, is exactly what me and Chris have been talking about. Why hasn't Arch already been playing? From what we saw, it looked like he's been the best quarterback on Texas team for especially last season. So is there more to that than, or are we just overthinking it?
Yeah,
yeah,
I
overanalyze it.
think there's a loyalty factor as well,
Me
because
too.
Quinn Ewers
Yeah,
was doing a good job to be fair, and he was someone that also got drafted into the NFL. So it's not like Arch Manning was sitting by
yeah,
like a random
I
college
agree.
QB. Like Quinn Ewers came in with a bunch of hype of his own, like an extremely highly touted recruit. Maybe not the same name as Arch Manning, but still a highly touted guy, and
Yeah,
maybe didn't fully live up to his potential. But I mean, he was an
Yeah,
NFL quarterback.
and then
I also think we've said this on the show before. I think this is a thing that doesn't get discussed much, but I think NIL also plays a factor in that.
yeah,
Quinn was probably paid more than Arch. And I do wonder if that starts to play a factor in some of these quarterback decisions, like Sark and the money people at Texas may be thinking like we've invested all this money into Quinn, we can't just give up on him so easily. But yeah, he didn't have the great this year last year. His deep ball was horrendous. They were struggling with any kind of deep downfield passing attack. It was like a lot of side to side screen plays, and then you find out at the end of the year, apparently he played all year with an oblique strain most of the season, and you find out that he was a little bit more hurt than he let on. And it does make you wonder, though, to Austin's point, if he was hurt that bad, why? Like, why didn't you go to Arch in the moments? But also, there is also this factor because I will fight this till the day I die. A lot of people give Kirby Smart shit for the Justin Fields Jake Fromm thing, and I think it was simple that Justin Fields that we saw at Ohio State wasn't that Justin Fields at UGA yet. And maybe that's Arch right now. He's just not there yet, and now he is.
That's that's my. I'm going to use that to kind of transition into just chatting about Jeremiah Love real quick. When I was looking at him, my fear for him, it looks like it's probably going to be Julian Sayin thrown into football, but there are two guys kind of in competition at Ohio State to play quarterback right now, and between the two of them, they have 34 snaps total in college football.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, I follow Julian Sayin's recruiting a lot because he was at Alabama, but I think he's going to be great. But it always scares me going with the young kids to you don't know what you're going to get till they get on the field. So
Yeah. All right, Austin. You're next, right?
all right, best player on the best team, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at Nick Anderson, Barian Brown, Aaron Anderson. Give me Nussmeyer.
Damn it.
Mm.
Hey Siri, remind me not to do snake drafts no more. Damn.
No, again, another team set up to go deep this year, and they're going to have a lot of games played on a big stage. And I think we talk about the Heisman, but I think you talk about Klubnik, Nussmeyer. Um, their futures are on the line this year. Like they're playing for draft picks. So I think they're both going to have big seasons.
Yeah, I love that pick. I'm not as high as everybody else on Nussmeier, but I am. I think he's really good, and I think this
I
year
think he has
could
a lot
be.
of talent around him that's going to
He
make him
does.
look better than what he may be.
He does. He does. And season is obviously very high on him. Um, and I'm high on him. I'm just not as high as like season and others. I think he's going to be a great quarterback though next year. Um, so I think that's a good pick. I had him on my list. So all right, I'm gonna go to mine. I'm gonna go ahead and snatch them up because y'all are snatching people left and right. And this sucks because it'll make it the second time in our draft I have to get a damn Gator. DJ Lagway. I'm taking DJ
Going
Lagway.
on.
Um, I love. God, I hate the Gators, but um, I'm gonna be unbiased here. DJ Lagway. I think he's a superstar in the making. I think the way that team played for him at the end of the year and the way I feel like he should get a lot of the credit for how that team played towards the end of the year. I think he really gave a spark to that team, and he beat LSU, Garrett Nussmeier. He beat Ole Miss with Jackson Dart. Um, I know his stats isn't like earth shattering, but if you like dig under the hood analytically, there's a lot of good underlying metrics for him as a quarterback, and they got a tough schedule, so. I think their win total is 8.5, I believe, or 7.5, something like that. But that's a plenty and a potential a lot of opportunities to make a big Heisman case. If Lagway comes out and be the guy that a lot of us think he can be, that he could run away with it too, real early. So I'm gonna go Lagway.
Yeah, I mean, DJ Wagley, Billy Napier is probably, you know, praying to the heavens that he got DJ Wagley on his team, because if it wasn't for him, we might be looking at a different head coach for Florida. I'm gonna be real with you there. Um, if he's healthy, because I know he did have some health concerns in the spring, which limited him a little bit more in spring practice. He's someone that is going to have a lot of those Heisman moments, because Florida is going to play in arguably the toughest schedule in all of college football. But if he can find a way to get his Florida team to 9-3, 10-2, I think that definitely opens up a path for them to make the college football playoff as a team. And as such, because he's going to have more of that visibility because of that tough schedule and making the CFP in spite of that, I think that really does open up the door for DJ Lagway to win it all. So I really like that pick. I was hoping that he would somehow fall to me at 8 or 9, but dreams can be dreams, right?
Yeah, yeah, yep. Elson, any thoughts on Lagway before we move on?
No, I like the pick. I think it's good, especially if you're doing a 5 team draft to throw somebody in there who, I mean, he has the potential to be a difference maker. I think, you think about the quarterbacks we've taken so far in the draft, they're going to be part of a system. And some, they can make your numbers look really well, but at the same time, it can make it harder to be recognized as an individual. Um, I think Lagway can be that individual that stands out.
Yeah, definitely. All right. It would be Jake, right, Jake?
No,
Actually, I
it's
think,
you again.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
you
me
have a
again.
take.
Oh, shit. That's right. See, I told y'all I'm mentally challenged when it comes to snake drafts. All right. Oh, great. Yes. Hell yeah. Okay. Oh man, I don't think I built this list long enough. Oh man. Mm. God, I really don't want to pick this one because I've actually been down on this team. Me and Season are not high on this team at all. But if it hits, I'm kind of thinking out loud. If he is as good as people say he is, then it could be really good. Damn it. No, screw that. You know what? I'm going to take another non-quarterback. I'm going to take a guy off of a team that I am super high on that season, and Austin isn't. Give me who I think is the second best wide receiver in the country, Ryan Williams.
You son of a gun.
Um, I don't even think it's 1 and 2. I think he's 1B to Jeremiah Smith's 1A. I think he's a phenomenal football player. I think with the addition of gosh, name's escaping me. Austin, the other receiver y'all added. Do you remember?
I don't know who you're talking about.
I can't remember who else Bama added. I think it's Holden or something like that. Um, anyway, I think with the addition of the receiver from Miami they got, would do amazing help for Ryan Williams on the other side. I also think Austin's getting sick of me saying this, but I also think the addition of Ryan Grubb, who I'm very high on being back as offense coordinator, I think this year is going to be amazing for Ryan Williams, and I think he's going to remind people that I would still pick Jeremiah Smith over him, but I think he's going to remind people this year that hey, it's not just Jeremiah Smith, like he's legit too. I see this playing out as almost like that Julio Jones and AJ Green thing. You know, that was kind of the last time we had two really wide receivers that were like on the same tier. And I think Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith is going to bring out the best in people because you're just going to see a lot of people fighting
Yeah.
over who's best at the end of the year this year. So, yeah, give me Ryan Williams.
I don't think it's a terrible pick, man. The more I think about this upcoming season, and the more I've watched a couple of games from last season, I don't think we realize, and we do, but I don't think we realize how bad Jalen Milroe was at throwing the football.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I think his legs opened up some stuff, and I mean, your daughter could go out and make a couple passes every now and then, but
Yeah,
I
Lexi
think
has
it's
an arm.
really going to show up. I think Ty Simpson can be that old style game manager type quarterback. He's got a good arm. He seems to be smart with the football, which is what we need. And I think it's going to give not only Williams a chance, it's going to give him some confidence to know, hey, if I go run this route, the football is going to be put where I want it. And I think that's a good. It's a shot in the dark, but I think it's a good pick.
Yeah. All right. Who's next?
I believe Austin's next, actually.
Yeah, that's right. Austin, then you.
So I wanted to throw Ryan Williams in my draft, but that's all right. I wanted to throw a quarterback who I thought could clean up this season and be that difference maker, kind of like DJ Lagway, is. Obviously, DJ was my first pick to try to get for this category, if you will. But I'm gonna pick Kevin Jennings, the SMU.
Oh,
I,
Wow.
you
I,
know
I
what? I
you
was gonna
know,
scoop him up if you weren't.
yeah,
So
I
He was
think
on my list.
he's that guy that I think, I mean, ran for 400 yards last season, threw for over 3,200 yards. The 11 interceptions is what crushed him. But if he can clean some of that up this season, and it's just he's going to be in that spot where he can be the spotlight, could work out for the Heisman.
Okay.
I love that pick. I was hoping to nab him like fifth, but I had a feeling that one of y'all were gonna grab him before I got a chance to get him again. If he can fix the turnovers, he's one of the more electric quarterbacks out there, other than Sellers, in my opinion, athletically.
Ooh, all right. Man, so that gives me a couple of opportunities to pick somebody. So, all right, so I have two quarterbacks in mind, actually, so I'm not going to waste too much time in particular. I'm going to parlay this first pick. Not only is this someone that I think could be a Heisman contender at the end of the year, but I think this is also somebody that could potentially help run the table, finish the regular season undefeated, and possibly lock up a top 5, top 6 team for his seed for his team in the college football playoff. I'm going to go with Sam Levitt out of Arizona State.
Nice.
First of all, I think this is the guy that showed some really showed a lot of grit in that Texas game. Things were not really going his way initially, but as the game went on, he was starting to settle in, and he had made some really good plays against what was a daunting Texas defense, one of the best defenses in the entire country, and he's back. Most of his team outside of Cam Scatterboo is also back. He's got a really good head coach in Kenny Dillingham to also work with as well. He's got a really quality receiver. I believe Jordan Tyson is his name. Really love his receiver. Is going to throw too. So he has all the the makings to make something shake here in terms of this regular season. And I look at Arizona State's schedule. They have a chance to win every single game. I think they'll honestly be favored in every single game that they play in, which certainly does not hurt the Heisman chances at all. So I'm going to go Sam Levitt with my first pick. Stop it. I see what makes you cheer. Now, for my next one, this might be a little bit warmer because I think the exact same thing that I thought about Sam Levitt in terms of leading his team to an undefeated season as well. I'm going to need people to start remembering Carson Beck again.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember this time last year? This is a guy that we thought was going to go in the first round of the NFL draft. Well, he's back. He's what I've seen in camp, what I've seen from like early reports in like summer and fall camp. Carson Beck is fully healed. He's ready to go from a physical standpoint. He is going to a lesser conference, so he won't be facing against the same caliber of defenses as he did the past 2 years, leading your Georgia Bulldogs, by the way. Oh, and here's another thing, too. I think Miami goes undefeated this year. I think they beat Notre Dame week 1.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
And
Oh, my God. Yes.
So
you are not the only one that's high on Miami. We have an ACC preview coming up in 2 weeks, and I don't want to give it away, but this is just a perfect opportunity. There is somebody in this group, and it's not me, that has Miami number 2 in the ACC. And then there's 2 of us, one's not on this show right now, that does not have Miami number 2 and don't have number 1 either. So you are joining Team Austin on being high on Miami this year.
Well,
so.
you know what? It feels really good that I don't stand alone, because when I tell people on Twitter that I think that, hey, this matchup between Notre Dame and Miami, this is a losable game for Notre Dame. I actually have Miami favored. The responses that I get back makes it seem like that I'm on some kind of a crack cocaine or something. It's incredible seeing a response in terms of whenever somebody puts Miami high. But if you look at Miami, I don't think there's going to be that much of a drop-off offensively. I really don't. And then the defense can only get better, right? Like, this is a defense that finished 70th. But anyways, going back to Carson Beck, I think he lights it up against some of those inferior defenses in the ACC. I mean, he's going to enjoy himself, playing against the Wake Forests, the Stanfords of the world, the Virginias of the world. Watch that man go to work, especially week 1 when he leads them to a victory over Notre Dame at home. I'm gonna let you know right now. He's at plus 4,700 right now on FanDuel, but after he gets that win week 1, watch those odds shoot up, baby. Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't know if I'm going. They beat Notre Dame. I'm not making that hot take yet, but I am high on Miami. I think Carson Beck has a great season, and I like the pick.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
like it. I
yeah,
like it
and
for
it's
my editing.
yeah,
No, you
and
don't.
don't take my word for it on that Miami beating Notre Dame. I don't say that just to do the clip farming. That's not how I am. That's
Yeah,
not how I operate. I'm not a clickbait type of person. I'm gonna
no,
say I'm saying it because I genuinely believe it. And don't take just my word for it. My internal power rating model would have Miami favored by a couple of points at home against Notre Dame. It's a winnable game for Notre Dame for sure. I'm not
yeah,
writing off the Fighting Irish. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Notre Dame wins week 1 on that Sunday night. But as of right now, I would pick Miami to win the game, but it would be incredibly close.
that's awesome. I hope that's the kind of game we get. I really do. All right. So that would be now Austin. Back to you.
It's me. Um, I think I'm going to go with the betting odds here.
Shit.
I said at the beginning of the show, best player on the best team, right? Um, there's one player on there that I am not a huge believer in, so I'm going to leave him there. Give me Drew Aller.
Okay.
Yep.
He was on my list.
Um, yeah, I don't love the pick. I think it's a safe pick. But obviously going to get a lot of attention this season. They've got to have better wide receiver play than they did last year. Kind of like you talk about Miami's defense, and I mean he showed signs last season. I mean we talked about it in some games. Just made some awesome throws. So hopefully he builds on that, stays in the spotlight, and yeah.
Yeah, I think Drew Auer is an excellent player, and actually, I think I do have Drew Auer. He was certainly up there in my QB1 conversation when I released my quarterback rankings way back in like April or May. The thing that I worry about with Drew Auer, though, is that he is going to be in a little bit more of a run heavy offense because they have that incredible backfield that easily could have gone to the NFL if they wanted to do that, but did stick around for another year.
Yep.
So I wonder between that and Penn State not being in as many competitive games, because I think Penn State's going to be a tremendous football team. How many opportunities is Drew Auer going to really get to shine? I don't see him passing the ball too terribly much, albeit he is a very mobile quarterback. So that is something that I'm a little concerned about. But he is an excellent football player. I just don't know if his stats are going to really pop out like maybe like a Garrett Nussmeier or a Cade Klubnik.
Yeah,
I
I
got them.
agree.
I got them too. So I'm
Yeah,
fine.
I know you do.
yeah,
No, I agree with you though.
yeah. I agree with you too, Jake. I also oh, I don't mean to backtrack. I didn't get to say this, but I love that Sam Levitt pick because he is my favorite quarterback in college football next year. I am. There's not a soul out there higher on Sam Levitt than me and maybe Clark Brooks on Twitter. But anyway, so with my pick, I like I like this because I get to make two picks and it'll be my last two picks. So I'm gonna go on this pick. I'm gonna go more upside, and then on my last pick, I'm gonna go a guy that may be a sure thing, at least according to betting odds. I'm gonna go upside though, and go Dante Moore at Oregon. I
Okay.
think I think even with Evan Stewart's injury, which does put a little damper on it, he does have Decarian Moore, the freshman wide receiver, who's a highly rated wide receiver, really good kid. But it is Oregon. There's weapons all around him. I think if he can take advantage of the weapons around him and show a little bit more consistency than he did at UCLA. You saw flashes at UCLA where you watched UCLA when Chip Kelly was there, and you saw like the flashes during games. Like, oh, okay, that kid's good. But you did see some really bad shit too with him at UCLA. I think sitting a year behind Dylan Gabriel has really helped him. And I think the fact that Oregon did not go after a quarterback in the portal says a lot, because Dan Lannon is not afraid to go portal hunting for a quarterback if he needs to. And I think the fact that they sat there and said, "No, we're good. We don't need a quarterback." That must says a lot about what Dante Moore did in practice last season. So I think they have a lot of faith in him. So with my next pick after that, my final pick, I'm not really high on the team around him, but I do think he is special. I do not think he's Cam Newton, but I do think he's Cam Newton like. I think I've seen this man. I don't think his offensive line is going to be that good this year, but I've watched this man break 20 tackles, scrambling in the backfield, and that's my man Sellers at South Carolina. I'm going to go with him. I think if Sellers can get more consistent passing the ball, which I think he did towards the end of the year, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but if you look it up, I think his numbers passing wise, if you go if you break it down towards the end of the year, it got drastically better as far as completion percentage, accuracy, all that stuff, the touchdown interception ratio, all that stuff got a lot better towards the end of the year. If he can build on that and become a little bit more better passer, add in the fact that his legs and body and built is Cam Newtonish, there's a lot of upside with that too. So I'm gonna go Sellers.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I really like the Sellers pick as well, because I think he's an incredibly special player. I'm actually really surprised that he lasted this long. To
I
be
am
honest
too.
with you, I didn't personally go with him because I'm not too terribly sure about his supporting cast, and I
Yeah,
don't know if South Carolina is going to be able to win enough games
it's
to
not good.
make him a little bit more serious of a Heisman contender and get more of those high marquee games as we get into the second half of the season. But I do agree with you wholeheartedly. He is an incredibly special player, and the few times that I had a chance to watch him, if he didn't go down in the LSU game, they were absolutely going to take down LSU.
Yeah,
Full stop.
and
And they
be in
nearly did it
the,
without him, anyways.
and be in the playoff.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we got
I agree with everything positive you said and everything negative you said. So
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's the whole reason I didn't take him.
yeah. I guess I took him since it's my fifth pick. I was just like, you know what? I don't feel great about my team. I'll be completely honest with you. So I might as well get to watch him this year and kind of have an extra rooting interest for him since he's on my team. And he's one of my favorite players to watch. So,
As
all
long
right,
as he's
Austin.
not playing Georgia, right?
Yeah, as long as he's not playing Georgia, which they don't this year, thank God. All right, Austin, your last pick.
Things are getting tough, and
Okay.
I think I want to have some fun with it. I think I want to give a defensive guy some love.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't even have a defensive guy
I think
written. Who could this be?
I think I know.
I must be having a brain fart.
I'm gonna go Caleb Downs.
I knew it.
Oh,
I knew it. As soon as I said defensive player, I already knew who it's going
I
to
didn't
be.
even think
I
Caleb Downs.
I love Caleb Downs. I think he's gonna be one of the best defensive players in the country this year. From what I could tell, he's the highest ranked defensive player on the odds sheet. Um, my list was very quarterback heavy, so I figured I'd go complete opposite, go defense, and make sure. Well, I guess Drew Aller will play Caleb Downs, so I guess the winner of that battle will be your Heisman.
That's probably my favorite pick. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think that out of all of us is my favorite pick because I don't know why I didn't even think about him. If I thought about him, I promise y'all I would have took him over Sellers or Dante Moore. I did not even think about him. I think that's a genius pick by you, Austin, especially at the last round. And like you said, with how many quarterbacks you got, he is the best defensive player in college football. And
Yeah.
as just like with others, Ohio State has plenty of opportunities to showcase him. Yeah, I love it. All right, Jake, your
I,
last pick. All right, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say he is the only player in the transfer portal era that I lost sleep over
Yeah,
when he left Alabama.
I did too, because the thought was he was going to Georgia.
Yeah.
Like that was like it was. I had a source tell me like, hey, he's coming to Georgia. Like there's no doubt about it. And then he went to Ohio State. So
Yeah.
kudos to Ohio State though. So all right,
Meanwhile, when I
Jake.
saw when Caleb Downs decided to join the Ohio State, I cracked open a beer in celebration of that. So I guess I have the final pick of this
Yep.
Heisman draft here, right? So I already have three quarterbacks between Arch Manning, Sam Levitt, Carson Beck. I also have a like a receiver in Jeremiah Smith. You
Oh,
know, fifth round, getting into we're getting into those like those fringe like candidates. So I could go for another quarterback on the potential side of things,
I know where you're going.
or I could go with a non-quarterback. We'll see about that. That it's going to be down there in those Heisman odds. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm probably going to regret this in the morning, but man, he's a bad man. He's a really bad man. And I'm Chris, I know you're very familiar with this particular player too.
Oh Jesus.
Y'all ready for it?
Yeah.
Zachariah Branch.
Oh.
I saw
Oh.
I saw him at USC last year. That brother can play. That kid
You,
is special.
you know
Gunner,
what? I know you've been playing NCAA. You know how I know? Because that Joker keeps winning the Heisman every time I that first year. You have been playing NCAA because I played, and year one, Zachariah Branch won the Heisman with like 1,600 yards receiving. And dude, I like that pick. I like that pick. That was a shocker. I thought you were gonna go, and I'm actually shocked none of us drafted this guy. I thought you were gonna go one of the Penn State running backs. Um, but yeah,
I thought
that's
about it, but because I don't know. I think because both of the Penn State running backs, they're going to get their fair share of carries. I don't think either of them are going to put up the stats necessary to win the Heisman. I mean, listen, Ashton Genty had a sensational season.
yeah,
Putting up what over 2,000 yards rushing over the course of the season, and he couldn't win the Heisman.
that's
After
true.
nearly breaking Barry Sanders' single season record, he couldn't even win the Heisman these days. So I mean, if he can't win it, it's going to be incredibly difficult for a running back, especially with how the running back position is perceived in general.
Yeah. Running back.
Zachariah Branch, on the
The
other hand,
the
I know that
position's dead.
receiving core last year was like a little bit more depleted, and it was an amazing job by Kirby Smart. Still even in what was perceived as a down year, still in the SEC and still make it to the quarterfinals of college football playoff. That receiving room is going to be upgraded, and I think that's going to really help the development of Gunnar Stockton. I think that's going to help propel Georgia to a top 5 team. And as I mentioned before, that brother can play.
Jake, I knew I liked you for a reason, my man. You're an awesome guest. All right, we made it an hour. I can't believe we didn't even have to stretch the show. We right at an hour just about. So all right, we're gonna get out of here right now and end this show. We appreciate everybody watching. We had a pretty good audience tonight. So if you can go hit the subscribe and like button on YouTube at CFP underscore SZN. We are 5 away from 200. And if you remember a couple of weeks back, I told you I made a promise. If we get to 200, I'm going to do a giveaway, and it's going to be a nice giveaway. So it ain't going to be no $10 gift card. I'm going to do something, assuming my wife don't kill me. So let's get to 200. There's like 25 to 30 people watching. We can get past 200 if you all just go hit the like and subscribe button on YouTube. All right, so for Austin, Jake, we appreciate him coming on again. Y'all go check out his Twitter page at CFB Red Zone. He's going to be doing awesome things this season. And come back next Thursday. Me and Season will be here for the top 10 defenses for the 2025 season. Austin will be taking a week that day off. And then after that, we'll do our season previews. All right,
Season
fellas. Y'all have a
previews.
great night. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's going to
take
be
care,
our best
everybody.
show. Yep. So y'all have a great night, and we'll see y'all next time.